¿Qué define a un verdadero atleta? Es la búsqueda incansable de superación y el deseo de romper los límites para alcanzar nuevos objetivos. En Toyota compartimos esa misma pasión por la superación. Como un atleta en constante evolución, nos desafiamos una y otra vez para llegar más lejos y superamos cada obstáculo para estar a la altura de tus sueños. Porque sabemos que el verdadero desafío está en superarnos a nosotros mismos. Por eso nos enorgullece apoyar el sacrificio y la resiliencia de Henry Borges y Mariana Mederos, integrantes de la selección uruguaya de judo paralímpico. Porque darles el lugar que se merecen es el camino a más oportunidades. Toyota, la superación es el motor que nos mueve.
Es un poco extraño estar entrevistando a alguien en inglés para nuestro programa de Entrevistas con Alma. Les hago esta introducción contándoles que hoy estoy en presencia de alguien increíble, de alguien que solo en los sueños uno se iba a imaginar que lo íbamos a tener en Uruguay, acá y en Entrevistas con Alma. Así que el programa de hoy va a ser en inglés, pero con traducción para que todos puedan entender, y es un privilegio. So, what I was telling our audience is that today is a very, very special day. This is a very special moment of my life because you don't always have the privilege and the pleasure and the honor of having someone to talk and to be in this program, Entrevistas con Alma, interviews with the soul. And I'm really, really very emotional, and I'm very happy, I'm very thankful, a lot of gratitude. We have here a person who is generally, I describe before announcing the person who is invited of the day. I generally make like a little description of what I feel. I have in front a person who is a revolutionary in this world from many, many years when a lot of people didn't see and couldn't realize a lot of things, and this person really did. A person who makes a very rich help for the planet, for the human beings, for us, and especially a very loving person. A loving person which from the heart makes a difference in people's lives. Also for me, it's like unbelievable because my brother, Alejandro, who I love a lot, loves this man, admires him. He is an inspiration for him for many years. So it's like dreams come true. Thank you so much. Welcome, Bruce Lipton, to this program, to this beautiful place, and to my life. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I want to thank you because you have an audience And this gives me a chance to speak to people I will not see, but you will open their eyes to the new story. And so I want to thank you, but I want to thank the audience, because the audience are the people that will make a difference.
For sure, the audience will be very enriched with you. Bruce, people already know who is Bruce Lipton, and we are very honored to have him in Uruguay. Bruce made a combination many years ago of science and spirit, biology and love. It's a mixture which normally or generally doctors are now they're awakening, but generally they go through separate paths, through separate ways, sometimes misunderstanding that we are a whole thing, body, mind, spirit. And when you think of us as different pieces and not of a whole, something does not go right. So when you started seeing this a long time ago, what took you to this place?
I was teaching in a medical school. I was teaching about how genes control life, and people all over the world in their education get the story. Genes turn on, genes turn off, genes control our life. I say, what was I teaching really? I was teaching people they are victims. I said, what do you mean? Well, if the genes control your life, did you pick the genes? But more important, if you don't like the thing, can you change the genes? I go, no, you can't do that.
So you're a victim.
That's a victim because
if you can change it,
the genes turn on and off
powerful.
Without you. So like you walk down the street, the idea, walk down the street, the gene says cancer. Now I have cancer. Who did that? The gene did that. That's what I was teaching in medical school.
When you talk about the genes, you talk about the family, about
passing the genes down from the family. But then I said, wait a minute, my research on cells showed the genes did not control the cell, the environment controlled the cell. So in a good environment, the cells are healthy and happy. In a bad environment, the cells are sick. And I said, well then, who controls the environment? I go, the mind controls the environment. The mind can be happy, the mind can be angry, the mind can be sad. And I say, oh, so the mind is controlling the genes. I say, oh, well, if the mind controls the genes, I'm not a victim of the genes.
You're not a victim anymore.
No, exactly. I'm the one that controls. So the whole idea is we have to train people, teach them different, that your thoughts, what you are thinking, is controlling your biology. Most people have negative thinking. And so if I say if you have negative thinking, you make negative biology. People think cancer is caused by a gene. I say, no, there is no gene that causes cancer. Not one gene causes cancer. Cancer comes from the mind, not living in harmony, not living in peace. The body is made out of cells. 50 trillion, that's a number so big you can't count it. If you wanted to count all the cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it'll take 100,000 years.
So impossible.
To count 50 trillion. So it's a big number, okay? But the point about it is the cells are like miniature people. So under your skin, you have 50 trillion miniature people, okay? They live in a community. Your body is a community, but your mind is the government. If you have a good government, the community is happy. If you have a bad government, the community is unhappy and creates a problem.
Let's go a little bit back.
Yes.
What took you, because when something happens or when someone searches for something, usually there's someone or something back, either something that happened to you, either something you couldn't solve, something takes you to a search.
Yes.
What's that something?
Well, as I said, I was teaching the genes control life. In my research in my laboratory at the medical school, I was growing the cells in the petri dish. And we grow cells in a liquid called culture medium. It's a fluid we grow the cells in. We make the culture medium in the laboratory, and it's chemistry. So I have 3 dishes of cells. They're all genetic the same, all the genes the same. All
But the environment different.
I changed the culture medium, the environment, and I make 3 different culture mediums, almost the same, just slight change in chemistry, slight, okay? In one dish, the cells form muscle. In another dish, the cells form bone. In a third dish, the cells form fat cells. I said, what controlled muscle, bone, fat? I said, they were all genetically the same. It was the environment that was different. And I said, wait, the genes did not control the fate. The environment controlled the fate. I go, so why is that important? Well, if I teach you the genes control, you are a victim because the genes do this without you. But the new science said, wait, the environment is changing this. I said, but we're the ones that create the environment. So if we change the way we are living in the environment, we change our genetic activity. So I said, then we're not victims of the genes. We are the ones that control the genes.
We are responsible for what happens in our lives.
Exactly. And our thoughts are translated into chemistry, and the chemistry goes to the blood, and the blood goes to the cells. So our thought chemistry changes the genetics. You change your thought, you change your genetic activity. So all of a sudden it said that I'm not the victim of the genes. I said, no, if anything, I'm a victim of the thought, but I can change the thought. So all of a sudden
And
I
when
said,
you
look,
say thoughts and it's more, it's beliefs, it's things that are very stuck to you from the past, from families, from... What do you think make us feel so stuck to past feelings, to past things that happened in your family life, maybe from your grandmother or grandfather?
The thoughts come from the mind. The mind, the brain is a computer. Not like a computer, the brain is a computer, okay? And if you have a computer, in the old days, you would buy a computer, it did not have program. So I say, oh, I have a brand new computer, and I
have to put in a program.
I can't use it until I put the program in. The brain of a child for 7 years is in what we call hypnosis. I go, why? Because how do you get a program? I say, oh, you watch your mother, you watch your father, you watch the people in your world. And when a child is in hypnosis, they download the behavior of the mother, they download the behavior of the father, they download the behavior of the community. So I say, then where do you get your programs? From where you grow up and what you see. Well, what if your parent doesn't have a good program? I said, well, then you downloaded a bad program. I can say this personal. Why? My mother and father had a bad relationship. But I'm watching my father to understand how boys, men should behave, so I watch my father. What did I do? I downloaded his bad behavior. Okay, that's my program. And then, as I get older, I want to find a relationship.
And it's difficult.
It was difficult because my bad behavior from my download from my father, my partners would run away. And I said, oh, why can't I find a relationship? I didn't see. You don't see the program. You don't see it. okay? It plays when you don't see it.
Unless you listen to what you say and you get aware of that.
If you become aware you have a program, then you become conscious that you can change the program. But if you can't see the program, then you don't even know you are playing the program.
We'll come to that. Let me ask you something.
Please.
How was Bruce little? Do you remember Bruce kid?
Yes.
How were you?
I loved nature as a child. I loved the sunlight. I loved the plants. I loved the animals. And when I was young and I looked in a microscope, I said, oh, little animals so small you can't see them, but you put a microscope, you go,
And get big.
And I saw them and I said, they're like little people. They're moving around, they're talking to each other, they're having a life. And so I say, I want to study them. So when I grew up, I became a biologist and then a research scientist to study the cells.
You were very sensitive.
Yes, I think I was, okay? Because I grew up in I'm 80 years old now, so I was a child, let's say 1950.
Uh-huh.
And I grew up in the United States, but my father had come from Russia. And in 1950, United States, they were against Russia. Russia's evil, Russia's bad. So when I grew up and my father had accents, people say, oh, he comes from Russia family. And the neighbors would not let me play with their kids. Because they say, oh, he's Bolshevik. He's going to ruin the kids.
So it's a pre-concept, which also happens usually when people are not aware and have that program.
I didn't play with a lot of kids, but I could be with nature. So all I remember growing up is my love of nature. But I didn't have good relationship with people because they wouldn't let me play with them because my father came from Russia, okay?
I mean, it's very cruel and it's very hard, but also maybe it's the reason why you took another way in life.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's just a reason to thank you.
So it worked out. It worked out. Why? Because as I started to study the cells in the microscope, I see how they work. And I see, oh, their behavior is whatever environment I put them in. If I put them in a good environment, the cells are happy and then they love and they grow. But if I put them in a bad environment, they separate from each other, they get sick, and they die. I go, then what controlled the life? The environment controlled the life. And I'm teaching in the medical school, the genes control the life. But the cell research said, that's wrong. It's
so
the
you
environment.
open your eyes, your mind, your soul.
Yes. And I started to look and say, wait, if the genes control your life, I'm telling you, you're a victim of heredity. You're a victim of whatever genes are in your family. But what my research showed is that I'm not a victim of the genes. I'm a victim of what I'm thinking, what I believe, how I live my life. And I said, wait, then I'm not a victim. I'm a master because I'm the one that can change my life. And I started to realize to be healthy, I had to change the way I was living. I had to learn to live in harmony with the world. I had to learn to live with love because love is the highest energy in the world.
How do you define love?
Harmony, health, peace, safety, all the things that we want come from love. If you don't have love, the world is not a nice place. And if it's not a nice place, then what are you telling your cells? World is not nice. And the cells, if they're not happy, they get sick. So we have been programmed to believe that sickness comes from the genes. Less than 1% of illness is connected to genes. Where does 99% of illness come from?
Emotional.
How we are living. If you change the way you are living, you change the way your genes are. If you're unhappy, if you're angry, if you're sad, the genes are angry, the genes are unhappy, the genes are sad, and the body is not healthy. But once I started to learn to live in joy, learn to live in happiness, learn to experience love, my whole life changed. I'm 80 years old. I have no doctor. I do not take any drugs. I am healthy. I am feeling, even if I look older, I'm feeling very young.
You look great. Let me ask you, how do you feel of having that amazing possibility of helping people to realize that most of the emotional things that happen to us are the cause of most of the illnesses?
This is, look, I call myself the first student of the new biology that I learned. It was funny because I saw how it worked, the mechanism, how the mind is controlling the genes. And at first, I wanted to tell everybody. I wanted to say, look, you can create the most beautiful life if you understand. And then the people look at me and they go, Bruce, you say you can create a beautiful life, but Bruce, your life does not look so good. And I realized I'm telling people how to do it, but I wasn't doing it.
You have to be the example.
Yeah, they say in English, I'm talking the talk, I am not walking the talk. So I said, I can't tell people anymore until I change my life.
So coming to the point, going back of your father and the relationship between your father and mother, and maybe other relationships, how do you, after realizing, to be practical and to try to give tools to the audience, how do you, when you realize the problem, when you realize like the kid of the thing, how do you do to change it?
I started to say, wait, don't take in bad news. Because if you take in bad news, you're telling yourselves bad news. So I say, if people are angry, I don't stay there. If people are sick and they want to be sick, I say, no, I don't want to be here.
So, but those are new situations. I'm talking about a situation that you carry in your soul, in your mind, because your father is your father, and your mother is your mother, and the relationship between them
was not that good.
How did you change that? How did you change that? It's more than what you think. It's what you experienced.
Yeah.
How do you do to like change the pattern, like modify and
you have to
and transform?
Okay. In everyday life, people are moving and talking and going and busy and all that. And I say they're not thinking; they're just moving like in a game. I'm moving. I'm doing. I say, if you stop long enough to think, you say, am I doing something that is healthy? Am I living happy? Am I living in love? I have to ask myself a question and then look at myself and go, no, you're not living what you are talking about. You're living in the anger, you're living in sadness, you're living in the war, you're living in violence. I go, but those are the things that when I see them and think about them, that my mind is seeing and thinking, that my mind is telling the cells, the world is not safe, the world is a bad place, the world is unhappy. I said, wait, I have to change my thinking. So I started.
From deep inside.
Deep inside, I change. I say, I want to be happy. I want to have happy thoughts. I want to live a happy life. So I changed the way I'm living, but from watching myself. Not, people are so busy doing, they're not watching themselves. So you have to look at yourself and say, I say to myself, Bruce, are you being happy? No. Oh, then do something different. So I changed my behavior.
Was it easy or difficult for you to change something that came maybe from when you were a kid?
At first, it seemed hard, but then I learned how to make the change fast. And all of a sudden, my life changed so much. I was a professor in a medical school, teaching victim, genes control you. And then when I saw the new way, I said, I can't teach this anymore. And I was a professor. And I said, I'm leaving the medical school. Why? I don't want to teach the students something wrong, that they're victims. I said, no. I want to teach people they're more powerful. I could not do it in the medical school because they have the program I'm supposed to teach. You're supposed to teach genes. I go, no, I can't teach the genes. I know it's wrong. I leave the medical school. And then I learned how to control my life. And I started to be happy. And every day I would wake up because I didn't watch the news. I didn't pay attention to bad anything.
And connect to gratitude.
Everything was gratitude. I was so happy to be alive. I'm happy to be in nature. Nature is beautiful. Most people don't even see nature because they're so busy doing the work, they don't see it. Every night, when the sun is going down, I stop and I watch the sun go down. And I be quiet. And I be peaceful.
Nature is miracle. The sun,
it's like the end
sunset.
Of the day, the end, and it's peaceful. So no matter where my work is, when I'm watching the sun, nothing bothering me. I'm peaceful. We have to take
So you
the
think
peace
what
in.
you're teaching the world is really conspiring? It's like it's what you do and what your life is.
Yeah.
That is very important.
Because if I ask anybody outside, I say, what controls your life? They say, genes. I go, no, your mind controls it. You want to change your life? You change the way you are living. You change your
thoughts.
Mind. You change your thoughts. Stop thinking negative. Stop being afraid of the world. Because when you're afraid, you want to close, you want to hide. But then you're shutting out the world when you're in protection. You don't come, you're in protection, keep away. But then you're not connected. So what I learned, stop the protection. Be connected. Look at the world. If you're not happy, do something else. Make yourself happy.
Change.
Whatever
you are, wherever you are, if you're not happy, change.
You can stop. Just stop.
What would be like the 4 or 5 main points for you in your life and for you to tell the people, like, eating good?
Yeah.
What else?
Okay. The idea is health is harmony. If you are living in harmony in your family, a lot of people have when I grew up, no harmony in the family. I had the parents that were not in harmony, okay? So health is harmony. Are you living in balance with nature? And I say, so what does that mean? Well, as you said, one thing is, what food am I eating? Am I eating bad food, bad chemistry? Am I eating too much sugar, which is not good for me?
Processed foods.
And am I eating organic food? Am I eating, what we call biodynamic food grown in harmony? Why? If my food is healthy, then I'm going to be healthy.
And also even going to the detail that even if someone who's cooking for you is cooking just disgusting or with love, that makes the difference.
That's the whole difference.
That makes the whole difference.
That's absolutely it, because food, a lot of people think, we need the food to live. It's like, no, that humans don't need to eat so much food because we can get the energy from the atmosphere, from the environment. Plants get from the sunlight and make food. Humans can make energy just from being out in the world with the energy. We take energy from the world and put it into our body, just like plant takes sun.
But that changed. In origin, many millions of years ago, that was like that. But then we started like, instead of evolution, involuting, like.
Yeah, devolution.
Yes.
We started to disconnect from nature.
Disconnect.
Nature is in harmony. People are not in harmony. Listen, a garden, like we come from the Garden of Eden. A garden is not a battleground. A garden is everything cooperating in harmony. A garden is harmony.
If you take it to community, life should be like a garden.
Like a garden. We should all live in harmony, but we don't.
No.
We have anger, people, and some people want this, and people are kill each other. They're violent, they yell. I say, this is not a garden when you do this. If you do this in the garden, you destroy the garden. I say, that's what humans are doing. We came from the garden, and now human behavior is destroying the garden. And science is saying, if you don't change the behavior now, in less than 20 years, maybe 10 years, civilization like we know today will not be here because we cannot survive.
Is the period of your life of more happiness, of more health in your mind, in your body?
And here's the problem with people in general. People think you need to have money to be happy. So they struggle, they try to make the money, they work all day, they make the money, and you think, okay, I got the money, now I'm happy. I go, the money didn't make you happy. Do you need the money to be happy? I go, no. You've been in India, I've been in India. Poorest country in the world.
The looks, the eyes of most of the people in India looked more bright and happy, and they didn't even have shampoo. That was my experience. They have nothing, and they have light in their eyes.
Yes, when you see the young kids and you saw them in the garbage pile, looking for scraps for food,
but
they
they're
got
smiling.
Nothing, but they're happy.
Yes.
I go,
what does that depend on?
How you grow up. Are you part of a family of love?
Yes.
If you experience love, real love, peace, harmony, no violence, no anger, if you're a child in that environment, you grow up with peace. You grow up with harmony. But our families don't do this anymore. In fact, the family is even worse now with the cell phone. I go to a restaurant.
Everybody's more connected but disconnected.
That's right. You go to a restaurant and the people are at the table. They're not talking to each other.
They're not talking. Everybody's with a phone.
They're on the phone. I go, what happened to communication? No more.
Nothing.
I said, but communication, community, same word. If you are in communication with your family, you are community. But if you're not working in communication, there is no more community. Health is in community. Illness, when you're alone and no community. So
lack of love, lack of health. Do you think this is your best moment in your life?
The best moment in my life? There are many of them. I think the best moment was, I remember I grew up with my parents having dysfunctional relationship. And for 40 years, the behavior I was playing was from the program I downloaded. So I have no relationship. And then I started to understand the program was bad. I need to change the program. So I changed the program and went, I'm going to tell that, okay, but first I changed the program. And what happened? I meet a partner. And now the program is different because now I'm learning to be in harmony with my partner. We talk to each other. We love each other.
Different from what you learned.
Oh, different than the way I grew up. And I want to add something, okay?
Of course.
Most people have seen a movie called The Matrix.
Yes.
And I say, what is Matrix? People say science fiction. I go, no.
No.
Matrix is documentary.
It's like relating real life.
It is, because what's the base? The movie says everyone is programmed. I go, this is true. We are all programmed till 7 years of age, okay? And I say, so all of us have been programmed. And then we live the program. I got a bad program, my life was not a good life, okay? In the Matrix, they say you can take a red pill and you can get out of the program. I want people to understand.
And in life, what do you say?
In life, I say, when people fall in love, that's the red pill. I say, why? I say, before you're in love, life is blah, 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 blah. And I say that you fall in love, the next day, oh, life is beautiful.
But
life
let me
is
ask
great.
you, when you say you fall in love, you're talking about falling in love with a couple, with a man or a woman or whatever, or you feel love for anything, for life, for passion, for a bird, for a
For
tree.
anything. Love is what makes you happy. So you can be a chef. You don't have to have a relationship.
Exactly, that's why it's love for life.
You're doing something you love, which makes your heart go, I want to do this.
Expand.
You can be a gardener, okay? You can be an artist. You don't need another person.
Of course, you need you.
You need you to be happy at that time. And so, but generally, we feel that happiness when we have a partner who we can share life. I could live in the most beautiful world alone. I go, oh, that's really beautiful. You know what's different? I have a partner.
When you share something.
And we both are looking at the same thing, and we're both going, oh, that's so beautiful. Then we're
everything
both sharing.
shared is better. you got an achievement, a recognition, a prize for the Goy Prize for Peace. What do you feel about that?
People say, how do I feel about me? I go, no. It makes me feel good because other people know what I'm talking about. If I just keep this myself, nothing changes. But if people can understand the new idea, the new science, they can change. And so this is why I could stay home and be happy the rest of my life. But I'm also very happy to see the people and say, look, if you're happy, you make me happy. So I want everyone around to be happy. Because if I'm in the middle and everyone is around is happy, then I am happy. But if I'm in the middle and everyone is angry and blah, 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 I don't have that same happy. So what's my joy? Not for me, I already have the joy. I want the joy for other people to have it. Because if they're happy, I get more happy. And
Bruce, what made you fall in love with your partner, wife, or whatever?
I remember exactly the moment because I was married once and I got married too young. My behavior was like my father's behavior, so it wasn't a good relationship. I get a divorce. For 17 years.
Wow.
Every day I shave mantra. I never get married again. I never
Really?
get married again. 17 years. Every time
there was lack of love inside.
I didn't want to go through that divorce.
Again.
I didn't want the aggravation. I didn't want to do that ever again. So I said, if I'm not married, I don't have to do this. And so when I would go out with somebody on a date, I would say, before I go out, I said, if you're looking for a relationship, it's not me. Well, I'm not going to do a relationship.
It's like your heart closed.
Yeah, because I didn't want to get hurt. I closed it. But I say, but if we're going to go out and have a concert, or we're going to go out and have a meal, and we're going to go out and have fun, I say, great, but it's not permanent, okay? I don't want a relationship. I meet my partner, Margaret, and we're first going out, and every time we go out, before the date, I say, look, if you want relationship,
it's not with me.
It's not me. It's not me. And so she got upset. After about 4 times, she said, you don't have to tell me. I know
already.
You're not a relationship. And I said, yeah, but if we're having fun, then we just keep going out. So one day, she's on the couch behind me, like on the couch. I'm on the floor. The movie is on. She's watching a movie and I'm thinking. And I said to myself, and this is where my whole life...
And I said to myself, what a wonderful world.
Well, and I said that about my partner. You know what I said? I said, I trust this woman. I said, how? I said, if I was in a place where I couldn't make a response, and somebody had to make a decision about what to do with me...
I would trust her. Wow.
I said that. I said, I would trust her decision. And then I said, oh my God, you trust this person with your life?
Oh my God.
And then I hear a voice, which is my spirit, outside. My spirit is talking to me. And my spirit, after all these years, my spirit says, ask her to marry you. I start laughing.
Oh my God.
I'm laughing because after 17 years, I would say, I'll never get married. The voice says, ask her to marry you. I'm laughing. She's watching the movie. And then she looks at me, she said, because the movie wasn't funny. She said, what are you laughing at? I said, I can't tell you.
Your inside, your soul was laughing.
I said, but I can't tell you. I can't tell you. And the more I say I can't tell you, the more she says, tell me. So I turn around and I say to her, Margaret, will you marry me?
Oh my God.
And you know what she said?
She thought he was joking.
You know what she said? Yeah, sure. Okay, and she watched the movie. Why? Because she believed when I told her I would never get married. So when I asked her to marry me, she goes, yeah, sure. I had to tell her 2 days, every day, will you marry me? And she finally...
many years saying no, it's not in a second that you will convince her. All of a sudden.
She understood. And when people fall in love, they have the honeymoon. We've been on honeymoon 30 years, every day.
We all want that recipe.
We wake up together, we say, oh, we're still here. We have another day to share our love. We have another day to be in heaven. Because when you are living in harmony, life is beautiful. When you're not in harmony, life is trouble, life is anger, life is violence, life is this. If you're in love, then it's a garden.
If you have to make like percentage, I'm being a little bit mathematics, but like the importance of working with the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul, what is the proportion, or it's equal, all the like to be healthy in all the ways?
The first thing is spirituality, which I didn't believe in. For 40 years as scientists.
Scientific people generally don't believe in spirit.
That's me, like that. And so I'm teaching genes. Genes control your life. My research said, no, the genes didn't do that. The environment. But I said, that's how I see the environment controls the life. And I said, who's seeing the environment? I've learned from the cells. I didn't go to the church. I'm not into the church. But I saw the cells get their information from the outside.
Through what you really made, which was science, you could see another thing.
And I saw that the cells are getting their life from what's happening outside. And then I started to recognize a very important fact. This was the part that made the change. No two people are the same in the whole world. I said, what do you mean? I say, I cannot take, let's say, my kidney and put it in your body. Because if I put my cells in your body, you have an immune system. The immune system says, not self. And the immune system will destroy, not self. You put your cells into somebody's body, their immune system say, not self. And as a scientist, I'm going, how does the immune system know me different from you? And then I saw it. On the surface of the cell are like antennas, like TV antennas. A number of them, okay? And no two people have the same antennas. I say, yeah, but what do the antennas do? They download identity. They're called self-receptors, receivers of self. I said, where's the self come from? Not inside. The antennas are on the outside. So the signal of self, not coming from inside, is coming from outside. I said, oh my goodness. The physics,
everything changes.
The quantum physics says there's an energy that is my broadcast. Like I'm a television set. You're watching the Bruce Show. I am watching your show.
The Bruce Show, I loved it.
Okay? I say, now here's the point. I say, you're watching a TV. If the TV breaks, we say the TV is dead. I go, yeah. I say, but the broadcast is still there. Because the broadcast is not in the TV, the broadcast comes to the TV. I said, my identity is a broadcast. And I said, but my body is the television playing the Bruce Show. You're watching the Bruce Show on this TV. If my TV breaks, I say the TV is dead. My body breaks, body is dead. The broadcast is still here. My spirit is not in my body. My spirit is playing and receiving.
Overflying.
And everybody has their own spirit because no two people have the same antennas. You are receiving a broadcast, not my broadcast, you're receiving your broadcast. Everyone out here is receiving their own broadcast. No two people get the same broadcast, no two people have the same antennas. I said, oh, each of us is receiving a spirit, and each of us has our own spirit.
Bruce, what is your dream, like a near dream for your life?
My dream for my life is that people will know who they are. They are spiritual people who come into the body to have a spiritual existence. I then say, and this is the conclusion that becomes like, oh, because people say, oh, if I die, I can go to heaven. I say, what is heaven? You say, oh, everybody has their own story. I ask you, tell me what your heaven is. I ask somebody else, you tell me what your heaven is. Different story. I say, so, oh, you are creating your heaven? You are creating your heaven?
You're creating everything.
Everybody. I say, yeah, but you're creating it from where? Not from in here, you're creating from out there. Then I say, then why am I here? This is like a machine, a robot. My spirit is control the robot. Why? I can move, I can talk, I can see, I can smell, I can hear, I can feel. I can feel love. Why? My body turns love into chemistry. The brain turns love into energy.
So it's like from the beginning, as we started, we end, we are all connection.
Yeah, but we are the creator.
Mind, body, spirit, of course.
You are the creator of this life. I go, you can create a life if you have the body, because that makes it move and we can do things, okay? When you're dead, you're just a broadcast. So the point, the conclusion, you don't die and go to heaven. You are born here into heaven. I say, why? Because this is where you came to
this
create.
Is heaven. Exactly.
You can create. I say, yeah, but you look at the world and I say, it doesn't look like heaven. I go, because we have bad program. And so if you're creating with a bad program, you create a bad life. And if you change the program, then guess what? What I'm experiencing, I created my heaven here. I wake up every day with the joy and the love. Why? I am creating this heaven.
Gratitude, a lot of gratitude.
Oh, that's all gratitude.
All gratitude. We have to end this program.
No!
No, I don't want. I would spend hours. Luckily, I'm going to go today, tomorrow to the conference. But generally, when I end my program, I ask, and especially to someone like you, to tell the audience it's like one tool. Something to keep, to move on, to change, to make a difference in your life. What would you say?
Stop doing. Stop and say, what am I doing? What am I doing? What is my behavior? Am I a happy person or am I working and struggle? Stop. You have to, the machine is running and you're not thinking. You're just running from program. I say,
it's about thinking or feeling?
Both are the same thing. A thought comes from feeling. A feeling of love creates the thought of love. And this is why having the body is so beautiful, because the body converts the thoughts into feelings. Love, happiness, joy.
So now I'm saying thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I need to give you a hug.
I would love a hug, because that's where the joy comes from.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
Oh, thank you so much.
For your presence, for your love, for all what you teach. Thank you so much.
Let me say one moment before we close. I want to thank the audience. Because if the audience knows what I'm talking about, and they start to make heaven, then we all start to make heaven.
1 + 1 + 1 makes infinite.
That's what we want. Because when we all wake up and say this is heaven, then it becomes the heaven. And I'm living in that heaven, even though other people are making war, violence. I live in beautiful. I have wonderful.
Let's make it happen.
I have wonderful friends. I have wonderful people that I work with. Why? The people that are angry, I don't work with them. I work with the people
out
that are happy.
Out of our lives.
Yeah, they're not here because I don't want their anger. So go away. I'm only going to work with the people that are happy. I'm going to work with the people who love their life. Because if they love their life, they're going to help other people love their life. And you are doing that.